All right, let's look at the homework 2, problem number 20. All right, it says this. A company is planning to manufacture snowboards. The fixed costs are $100 per day, and then total costs are $5,300 per day at a daily output of 20 boards. Right, part A, assuming that total cost per day, C of X, is linearly related to the total output per day, X, write an equation for the cost function. All right, so let's do that. All right, so here, we just have to kind of interpret this. Here, we have fixed cost per day, fixed cost $100 per day. All right, so fixed cost is just the cost without producing anything. So we know that if you think of x value comma y c value, so since it's a cost, so you can think of x1 comma c1 is going to be, right, when you produce 0 snowboard, it's going to still cost you $100. Right? Then here you have $5,300 per day at the daily out of 20 boards. All right, so this will give you the second point, which is x2 comma c2. All right, so this is x2 would be 20, and the cost is 5,300. All right. So since we have 2 points and we just need to find the equation of a line, right? So all you have to do is we need to find a couple of information. One is actually because we have a y-intercept, or we should say C1 intercept is 100. So let's try to find the slope. So I'm going to call it M. So first one, we want to find the slope. And 2, we need to find a y-intercept. The y-intercept is given here, so it's 100 is the y-intercept, so we don't have to do any work here. All right, the slope is going to be, so what you need to do is we can just do a C2 minus C1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so this is going to give you 5,300, and then C1 is 100 over 200, oh actually 20, sorry, 20 boards minus 0, right? So this is going to be 5,200 divided by 20. All right, so what's this? So we can scratch out one of the zeros, and 520 divided by 2 is 260. All right, so that's the slope. So therefore, the equation is going to be c of x is equal to, right, slope is 260 x, and then y-intercept or c-intercept is 100. Right, so let's type it in. Right, we have 260 x plus 100. Right, let's check the answer. All right, we got that. All right, part B, the average cost per board for an output of x board is given by, so all you have to do is divide by x. So we can just divide 260x by x. You have a 260, and then 100 divided by x. All right, so that will be the average cost. So let's check the answer. All right, so we got that. All right, let's look at the part C. sketch the graph of the average function between 1 and 30. All right, so let's look at that. All right, so what was the equation? Equation is this guy, right? So it's going to be at the 260 plus 100 over x. So it's going to be always over 260. All right, so 260 is going to be, so this is probably the right place here. So the A looks pretty promising. B is definitely too low because this is not the 260 there. So this is promising. And this is not, this is at 200. So we can eliminate B and D. So it's going to be between A and C. All right. So the next thing is we want to look at the, let's see. So when we look at the 1, so if you put 1 here, so you have 260 plus 100, so 360. So the beginning it's going to be around 360. So this is 400. So it looks like this is going to be hitting the right place here. This one looks like hitting more like 400. So we know that this is going to be the correct answer. All right, let's check the answer. All right, we got that. All right, so next one, what does the average cost per board tend to as production increases? So this is actually kind of easy because as X gets larger and larger and larger, you can see that 100 over X is going to be getting closer and closer to 0. So this is going to eventually disappear. Then you can see that the 260 is going to remain. So that it's going to tend to 260. All right, so let's check the answer. We got that. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.